Navigating COVID-19, a member perspective. In this episode, we're speaking with Katie Pfennigs, Marketing and Communications Supervisor for Flathead Electric Cooperative, located in Kalispell, Montana. Situated in the northwest region of the state, Flathead Electric is the largest electric cooperative in Montana with just over 60,000 meters, serving about 53,000 members. With the coronavirus pandemic hitting at a time when many electric cooperatives were set to hold their annual meetings, many had no choice but to postpone or cancel entirely. Despite canceling their meeting, Katie shared how Flathead Electric was determined to carry on with some of their meeting traditions, including giving away a significant bill credit and scholarships for local high school seniors.
First things first, we canceled our annual meeting, which was slated to be held March 21st. We closed our offices to the public. We got as much of our staff working remotely as we could and took precautions to make sure we were keeping our employees and members safe. And in canceling the annual meeting, which of course is a big deal for an electric co-op, we also canceled the grand prize $500 electric bill credit and some of the scholarships that we typically award. So we didn't want to see that money, which we'd already budgeted, go to or get utilized. We thought, okay, well, how else can we use that now and help our members at a time like? Did a couple of things. With the $500 grand prize, we're running a campaign right now to get people signed up for their online account. Obviously, we're all spending a lot more time at home. And one of the best ways is to pay your bill and manage your account is through the Smart Hub app and online account. So we are encouraging members to get for that account. So we've got advertising running everywhere. And if they're signed up for their online account by the end of May, then we are putting them into a drawing automatically for that $500 energy bill credit. So that's been a pretty popular campaign. We're always looking for ways to encourage members to take control of their electric account. So this worked out really well to both do that as well as helping them, with a need, which is figuring out how to be a little bit more self-sufficient in paying their bills and managing their electric account right now. And we're trying to take a really empathetic tone with that campaign, which I think is really critically important right now. People are struggling and things are hard and things are challenging. So the whole premise of that campaign is, a lot of things are challenging right now, but managing your electric account doesn't have to be one of them. So with the scholarship dollars, typically what we do is we give away, depending on how many high school seniors we have show up at the meeting, we give away a certain number of scholarships. And we wanted to still award that money this year. Our high school seniors get really excited about those because they're kind of just luck of the draw. They just have to show up at the meeting and they're entered into the drawing. It's not an application process. So what we did is we did what we were calling a social distancing scholarship, and these have actually already been awarded. But we gave them a couple of weeks to fill out a really brief online application where they learned a little bit about hydropower, which is the power source we're so fortunate to be served by in the Northwest, and answered a few questions about hydropower, submitted their application, and then anyone who posted their response about why we're so fortunate to have hydropower on social media, they got an extra entry into the contest. And then I did a Facebook Live to give those scholarship dollars away. And we tried to make that a little bit fun. This is a little embarrassing, but I did the Facebook Live in rollers and my bathrobe, really perfecting my social distancing look. And I'll tell you what, it was like I said, a little embarrassing for me, but having a little fun with it went a long ways. It got a lot of attention and people really appreciated an opportunity to smile in the midst of all of this.
Katie then shared some of the unique ways Flathead Electric and its members are helping give back to their community during this time, including monetary donations toward personal protective equipment for first responders, a grant for a local homeless shelter, and a community cleanup initiative in honor of Earth Day.
So our Roundup for Safety program is a program by which our members round up their bill each month to the nearest dollar, and then those funds go into a pot that we use to provide grants for local nonprofits for life safety projects. And those funds are managed and awarded by a completely separate board of directors. So that board of directors has been faced with a couple of kind of emergent requests that are related to COVID-19 pandemic. And they were able to award a couple of pretty cool grants. So the first of those that comes to mind was for our hospital and using and trying to first and create personal protective equipment for our healthcare workers and first responders, firemen, law enforcement, and any other first responders throughout our service territory. So they were able to award a $6,000 grant for that. And then they also heard from a local homeless shelter here who is looking to provide emergency shelter for our homeless population. And we were able to award a $5,000 grant for that project as well. And those are pretty rewarding grants to be able to give out because they're coming directly from our ratepayers who are providing this fund via their monthly bills. So it's a pretty neat community project, and it feels good to be able to help right now. So this week we are doing an Earth Day challenge, which was designed around having people at home in our community. And we are challenging, it's a beautiful day to clean up your neighborhood. And we're challenging our community to get out there with their families and do a ditch cleanup. I think a lot of the ditch cleanup projects in our area probably are a little bit on hold with all of the businesses being shut down right now. And also just a good way to get people out of their houses and doing something positive for the community. And then we are going to be posting pictures of all of the good cleanup activities that are going on Earth Day too. So we're kind of excited about that. We've got a lot of employees who have pledged to participate, and should be a fun day. So we're looking forward to that as well.
Katie also explained how Flathead Electric is working with members on payment arrangements in the wake of COVID-19 and the co-op's effort in collecting helpful information and resources for members in an easy-to-find centralized location.
We made the decision as a cooperative not to disconnect our members' power for non-payment or charge any late fees at this point. And that was an effort to support our members who have been financially impacted. So, with that, it's also very important to help members understand that this, while we're not disconnecting anyone's power, this is not a waiver of their bill. Eventually, if they're unable to pay today, eventually those bills will come due. So we really want to make sure that members understand that it's critically important right now to stay connected with us so that we can help them either identify some assistance or come up with payment plans, or just make sure that they're kind of staying on top of that balance so that they have a way to, if they get themselves sort of in a hole, to effectively dig themselves out of that hole by partnering with us to figure out ways to do that. So we just launched actually this morning a campaign called Stay Connected. And it started with a column in our local daily newspaper from our GM, kind of explaining this scenario and urging members to stay connected with us. And then we'll have a series of other marketing channels going live over the next week to 2 weeks. Just again, encouraging members to just reach out and be connected with us during this time. And obviously that's an effort to, encourage them to pay anything that they can. And if they can't, make some payment arrangements and hopefully, mitigate any cash flow issues to the co-op, but also mitigate any challenges that they have when we do start doing disconnects again, because the last thing we want to do is disconnect someone's power at the end of this situation. I think that one of the most critical things that businesses and electric utilities can be doing right now is communicating with their members. And what my team is trying to do is just really bring social awareness into every single piece of communication that we're putting out right now. So we're thinking of everything in a whole new light. We're shifting the tone that we're using for our messages. We're using a lot of empathy. I just think using that lens right now in your communications is really, really important. And just kind of trying to take stock of where your membership or your customer base is at, and meeting them there it's more important than ever right now. That's what we've been trying to do through all of this. And also the other thing I would add to that is just attempting to make things very accessible and easy for your members. So, we put out a sort of a landing page, flatheadelectric.com/coronavirus is a one-stop shop where members can get all of the resources that they need to do business with us, as well as find some of these other fun things. They can go there. They can quickly see what their bill payment options are. We've got some links for businesses to get assistance. We've got, this Take Your Account Online to Win $500 campaign is listed there. We've got information about our suspension of disconnects. We've got a couple other links to some fun things we've done. We did a safe at home activity kit for kids right now to learn about electrical safety and hydropower and some things like that. But again, everything is in one place. It's easy to find. It's linked right from the homepage. And, you don't want people to have to spend extra effort right now when they're already potentially feeling frustrated or scared or concerned or, any of those difficult emotions that people are facing right now.
Lastly, Katie shared her advice for other organizations working through the challenges of COVID-19.
Honestly, I think just keeping in really good communication with the leaders in your organization and other community leaders to kind of keep strategizing on what this looks like as it continues to evolve. A lot of what Flathead put out was real early on in the process when things were changing so rapidly that we were kind of having to develop on the fly with these ideas. But we just keep on analyzing what our response looks like. Does it still make sense? We're just not afraid to continue making changes as this continues to evolve. So we're not going to be done as communicators or as organizational leaders figuring out what this response looks like. It's just going to keep on changing, and we have to keep on being flexible and changing with it. It's been a challenging time, but it's been also kind of enjoyable to figure out how we wade through this together. And there have been a lot of bright spots in all of this for me as a communicator as well. So a lot of tough stuff, a lot of good stuff. It's a little bit of a roller coaster ride, but we're figuring out how to balance it.
Special thanks to Katie and Flathead Electric for sharing more about their response to COVID-19. To find out more information about this episode and other helpful resources, please visit the Member Think Tank section of the COVID-19 Solutions Resource HQ on the NISC community. Want to share your story? Please send an email to Jennifer Sagel at the email address in the body of this post. Thanks for listening.